Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leslie Pfau. I'm the Marketing Director here at Advisicon. I'd like to welcome you all to today's webinar, How to Manage Tasks and Projects in MS Planner. Here at Advisicon, we are a group of authors, teachers, consultants, and technologists who are passionate about helping organizations learn, scale, and grow with a mix of methodology and technology to deliver results. And recently, Advisicon has stepped into a new area, using project management for community involvement by integrating a nonprofit and community outreach department. We offer free BI weekly webinars that we refer to as Webinar Wednesdays, in which we spend 30 minutes to an hour teaching topics ranging from Microsoft Project, Project Server, Project Online, Power BI, Visio, SharePoint, to project program and portfolio management and methodology approaches. With attending any of our training sessions, we offer PDUs as we are a registered education provider with a Project Management Institute. At the close of today's session, I will give some instructions on how to claim your PDUs and how to contact Advisicon for any questions you may have. Now, before we get started, I'd like to go over a few things so you know how to participate in today's event. This webinar will be recorded and uploaded on the Advisicon YouTube channel for those who could not attend today's live session. Please note that any questions or comments submitted will not display in the recording, nor will any of your personal information be shared. Please review the control menu that should be on top of the right of your screen. This control panel gives you the option to adjust the volume and adjust most of your other settings. The audience is muted during this session, so in order to ask questions, you'll need to submit text questions in the chat window of the control panel. It is now my pleasure to introduce Michael Rimmer, a project scheduler here at Advisicon. Without further ado, I will hand this presentation over so we can get this webinar started.
Thank you, Leslie. Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Rimmer. I'm a project coordinator here at Advisicon. I've been working with Microsoft products daily for over 10 years. I'm an experienced trainer working on one-on-one settings and in groups. I love working with technology and with people. That really gets me fired up and going. So it's my honor and pleasure to kind of talk to you guys about what Microsoft Planner has for you and its capabilities. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's agenda, I'm going to be talking about what is Microsoft Planner and why you would use it, where Microsoft is going with Microsoft Planner, and then I'll be providing to you a demo of using Planner. And then I'll be discussing what else does Microsoft Planner interact with. And if there's any time left, we'll have questions and answers. And like Leslie stated, if you have any questions, please put them in the box. And if there isn't enough time after this webinar, I will email you with the answers to your questions. Great, so what is Planner? Planner is a web-based tool designed for a group of people that work together to organize their plans and teamwork on various ad hoc projects. The virtual Kanban board originally released in June of 2016. You know, it wasn't designed for individual use. I mean, it can be used for that, and it's effective, but that's what Wunderlist is for Microsoft to do. Those were designed with the individual in mind. And it's not really a useful tool for PMO teams or executive and project teams, project portfolio management kind of stuff. That's a little bit too granular for them. This is perfect for a team that needs to work on several tasks within one particular project, but not to the extent of using Microsoft Project. So why would you use Planner? I mean, it's an easy to use central hub that your team can use to track assignments, track percentage of complete for assignments. It's really flexible in assigning and organizing tasks. Has the ability for different buckets. It tracks progress of tasks at a glance and has its own very nice little dashboard for tracking progress on the individual level as well as the bucket level. And I find it personally very clean and unobtrusive to look at. And where is Microsoft going with Planner? So some of the things that Microsoft has announced through their user voice, which I'll get into a little bit later, is that they are currently working on integrating Microsoft Planner with Outlook tasks. That way you will have the ability to kind of see from Outlook what you have going on within your current plans. They are also implementing creating plan templates with existing tasks. So if you really like the way that your Microsoft Planner plan looks, and you're like, we will use these buckets for most plans that we are working on in the future, then you will be able to save that plan as a template and use it in the future. They are working on updating notifications for team members, and they are working on creating a search functionality for tasks. Currently, you can only search for your own personal tasks if you are assigned to them or if you have like commented on them, but you won't have the ability to search for a task name within your plan. Okay, so now this is my favorite part. I really enjoy getting to work within the tool, and so let me go ahead and show you Microsoft Planner. So one thing about Microsoft Planner is that it is not a desktop application. It is only accessible in the web. So to get there, you can go to office.com, and this will take you to your Office 365 homepage, in which you can select Microsoft Planner. I have it here under my apps, which is also accessible from the navigation bar here on the left. Or you can type in tasks.office.com and it'll just take you straight to Microsoft Planner. So here it takes you straight to your Planner hub. As you can see, I have 3 favorite plans. I have Advisicon Tasks, which I use for my personal use, Brotherhood of the Broken, which is a nonprofit men's counseling service for empowering healthy relationships that we are currently working with in our nonprofit division. And we have a professional services team that I'm currently a part of. So I have these all labeled as favorites, and they show up with their nice dashboard that shows not started, their in progress tasks, late tasks, and my completed tasks. We have the ability to go down here and click all plans and see all of the plans that I have access to. Now those are viewable here on the left side navigation pane. But let's kind of look at my tasks. So these are the tasks that have been assigned to me. And we can see here that I have a not started bucket, an in progress bucket, and a completed bucket. Now these show all tasks, doesn't matter what plan they're in. As we can see, I have professional services, and this one's Brotherhood of the Broken, and these ones are for Advisicon tasks. Let's take a look at Brotherhood of the Broken plan. This is a demo plan that I set up for this webinar Wednesday, and this is kind of what you would see when you create your own. There are several buckets here that I have customized, and through the course of this is like your main meat and potatoes of Microsoft Planner. You can easily drag and drop plans from one bucket to another if necessary, and you can easily create a new task based on that bucket. I want to show you different views though before I get into this. So up here on the very top we have the board view, which is what we currently see. We have our charts view, and we have our schedule view. Oops. And then to make a favorite, you just click on this little star. So let's take a look at our charts view. Here we see our mini dashboard. We have what we saw in the summary, the Planner hub, which is our status board. We see our bucket. This tells us our plans, tasks that are either late, not started, or in progress. And this is our tasks by member board. It's a great little hub for information, quick to see at a glance how your team is doing and how your tasks are doing. And if you needed to, you can always view the board view here on the right-hand side. It's just in a vertical setting instead of a horizontal one. If you needed to insert a new task, you have the ability to do that right here as well. Next on to our schedule view. This is a calendar view, which is very nice to see. And as you can see, we have the ability to create new tasks on this date. Well, let's go and take a look at a previous month. Here we go. We can see that we have the marketing meetup. which is in progress and goes until the next month. We have some how does it all start task, Michael's process development, design a new website. These are all late tasks because they were assigned a due date and it was not completed. They are all in progress, which is what that, this is what that half ellipses is right there. You still have the ability to create new tasks here on the right side, which will auto-populate into your scheduled view. The next views that we have are conversion, members, files, notebook, and sites. And I'm going to take a look at each one individually. So when you create a Microsoft Planner plan, it creates a lot of background settings. It essentially creates a SharePoint team site, and it creates a Outlook email for the plan. It creates an Outlook calendar for the plan. So let's click on Conversation. It's opening up my Outlook Office 365. And as you can see on the top here, it says BOTB, or Brotherhood of the Broken, launch, which is the name of the plan that I had originally created it, at advisicon.com. And we started a couple of conversations here. Here is one that the plan sent me. We can start a conversation, share files, all of that. I created a calendar meeting and it added it to the conversation, and I replied, hey, I'll be there. This is a nice little way to keep in contact with your team, sort of like a forum, half instant messenger, but it's a nice little place where everybody can have conversation. The next section is the file section. This is essentially OneDrive on SharePoint. You can upload a picture, and that's actually how I got this picture right here for our Brotherhood of the Broken. I uploaded the picture and I assigned it. This can house all of your files as necessary for that particular plan. I showed you a little bit earlier the calendar view. So as you can see, we have a board meeting here in August. If I go back, you'll see the tasks that I showed you before. However, this is not showing the particular lateness or in progress of that task. That's best seen in the Microsoft Planner tab. One of the things that Microsoft Planner provides as well is a OneNote notebook that everybody within the plan can use and update. As you can see, it opens up its own Brotherhood of the Broken notebook, and everybody that's a part of the plan has access to it. Great for keeping notes within that particular project or that you're working on, and easily shareable. All right. So now that I've shown you kind of all the views in the back end, let's talk about adding members. So you can add members very easily within your network by clicking on this members dropdown and adding a member here. So let's say we wanted to add, I think everybody's on here. Let's add Walter. So I just type in Walter's name, click on it, and it adds him. He will receive an email message stating that he has been added to this particular plan. Now let's say that you wanted to add somebody who's not a part of your company. You click on the members button, the ellipses, and then the members button. It opens up to Outlook again. And then it'll give you a couple of options. It'll show you all of your members for that plan right here. You can add members this way as well. You can click on owners and it'll show you the owner of that plan. And then you can click on guests, and this is how you would add. Now, Dan Stevens is the CEO and owner of Brotherhood of the Broken, and I have added him as a guest to this plan because he is not a part of Advisicon's employee list. Okay, now let's kind of go back to the board view. I want to show you a little bit about filtering and grouping. If we go back over here, we can see that we have both filter and group button. To filter your Kanban board, you can filter it, you click on the filter button, you can filter it by any way that you want. You can filter it by keyword, by due date, which is very nice. So let's do by late. I can see all the tasks that are late in their respective buckets. We can also filter it by late in this week, or we can filter it by this week or next week, or all in the future, or by no date. It's very simple. It's an immediate refresh, which is very nice. You can also filter it by labels and by who it's assigned to. And then lastly, you can filter it by bucket. So you can see if there's so many tasks on here that you're having difficulty trying to single specific ones out, you can just see, oh, I want to see everything in the courses task view. There you go. In addition to that, let's go ahead and say, let's see all of Dan's tasks, and then let's group them by assigned to. This changes the bucket list. So you have your unassigned here, and then every member has their own tasks. We can see all the tasks that Dan is a part of. You can also filter it by Dan, or I'm sorry, by group assigned to in late. I am the only person here with late tasks. I take off the filter and everybody repopulates. We can group it by progress, not started, and progress or completed. Those are the only three progress that you can assign a task. Group it by due date, which is late, future, or no date, and then labels. And I'll talk about labels here in a little bit when we talk about creating tasks. But essentially, you can create different colored labels on the top here, and those would be the same labels that you see attached to the side of a task. I'm going to change it back to the bucket view and talk about creating a task. So to create a task, we would click on the plus sign, add task. We would type in a name. We're going to type in, I need to reconfigure my laptop. I'm going to set a due date. I would like this to be done by Monday. And this is assigned to me. I click on the add task button and it adds it. Now let's say I need a little bit more detail for that. I can click on the task and it opens up the task view. This tells you the bucket, the progress, and this is how I change it from in progress or to completed. And I can add a start date. Let's say I don't want to start it though until Saturday. I can type in a description if I wanted to. Laptop is running very slowly and needs to be reconfigured, defragmented. So we'll add a checklist. This is a really cool feature that I like, where if your task has many different things, individual people can go in and add checklists to that particular task. So this doesn't need to be the administrator or the project leader or the project manager's responsibility. The project manager can say, hey, like, Tim, I need you to reconfigure my laptop, and then he can go in and add all the checklist items. So let's say we need to review installed programs and defragment. If you wanted to, everybody that is assigned that task can actually comment on it, and this would appear in that conversation of the Outlook 365 that I showed you earlier. If you type a comment on here, it'll automatically populate in that area. And one of the other cool things that you can do is you can show your description on the card, which is what these little horizontal things are here. As you can see, I clicked on show on card and the description came up. If I wanted to, I can change it to show the checklist. And there the checklist populates. The moment I click on I already did that, the checklist item disappears and it shows that I have 1 out of 2 completed, and it crosses it out on this task card. The last thing I wanted to show you is the labels. I touched a little bit on this when you could group by label. And here I've written process optimization for purple, videos for red, Advisicon help for orange, and courses for neon green. You can select which one applies to this task for easy organization. And also, if you prefer to group by label, you can do that as well. So let's say reconfigure my laptop is really none of these. It can maybe be Advisicon help, but this is designed for Advisicon helps for Dan. So maybe we add IT support. And I go ahead and I click on that teal button. It applies it, and now you can see it over here. If I hover over that color, it shows IT support. So let's kind of check out what it would look like to create your own new plan. Well, let's click on New Plan. You type in a name, test plan number 1. You have the ability to make it public or private. If you make a public plan, then anyone in your organization can see it. If you make it private, it's only people that you add to that plan. Very simple and self-describable. Testing for webinar. So like I said, when you create a plan, it creates that backend, it creates a SharePoint team site, it creates the Outlook email, it creates that, that conversation list, it creates all of that on the backend, the OneNote notebook and the Outlook calendar. So here I have my test plan. I'm gonna go ahead and make this a favorite of mine. And we see that it populates right here. If I go back to my Planner Hub, there it is. We can add tasks like we talked about before. It's very, very simple to create a new plan. If I go back to Brotherhood of the Broken, let's see this reconfigure my desktop. I'm going to say that I completed this. I can do it in one of two ways. I click on completed within this task card, and we see that it has been completed. One of the things I can do is I can also press this little button. This will reactivate the task. And I can click on this little green check mark to complete the task in that way. So if you accidentally click on the green check mark and you're like, oh, I did not mean for the Partner OSA service page to be completed, you can just reactivate that task. So let's say I defragmented my laptop on Sunday, and I can go ahead and click on the OK. That task is now complete. All right. So that's pretty much all of Microsoft Planner. I would like to show you a little bit about the user voice, which I mentioned earlier. All Microsoft products have the ability for the user to give feedback. So if we click on this little settings cogwheel up here in the top right-hand corner, we can go down to send planner feedback. And you can tell them you like something, you don't like something, or if you have a suggestion. And you click on go to user voice. And this is where you can give your personal individualized feedback in regards to the Microsoft product. As you can see, this is where I got integration with Outlook tasks from. Somebody had suggested the idea that they would like if new tasks created in a planner couldn't be seen in Outlook. And 7,949 people voted that they liked that idea. Microsoft replied that it's in development. There's so many different ideas on here that people have suggested and Microsoft has responded. Partially complete, tell us more about how this could be beneficial to you. They've also said that like, this is scheduled to come in the future. This has been started. It's a very neat opportunity for Microsoft to work with the users that are using their product. Great. So let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation. We can kind of talk about what does Microsoft Planner interact with. Well, they have been releasing new updates really frequently with Microsoft Planner. They've released an update that it can interact with Microsoft Project Pro, which I'll show you here in a little bit. It has interacted with Microsoft OneNote, which I showed you earlier. It works with Microsoft OneDrive, which I also showed you earlier, and Microsoft Teams, and I'll show you that here in a little bit as well. First, let me show you how Microsoft Planner interacts with Microsoft Project Pro. So let's see, we go to our Project Online demo environment. We click on our project that we are working on. So let's say we want to work on shopping cart. I click on the button and it pops open in Project Professional. I'm going to allow that scheduling conflict. And we have our Microsoft project here. Now, as you can see, I've already assigned a Microsoft Planner plan to a task. And that's a really cool opportunity that Microsoft has given us. Let's say that this category/department task within the customer store site was actually kind of a big task. Rather than taking only 24 hours, let's say it was going to take them 5 days or maybe 10 days. And it was going to require a team of people to work on it. Well, the project manager could create a Microsoft Planner plan, and then this is the stipulation. You have to create a Microsoft Planner plan before you link a Microsoft project task to that plan. So you created a plan, you create some buckets that you think that needs to happen, you give that to your team, you said, hey, work on this. And then you would click on link to. It will open up a navigation bar on this left-hand side. As you can see, I already have one, so let's go ahead and try this one. So this navigation bar, I click link to existing plan. I type in, if I typed in Brotherhood of the Broken, it's going to populate. Let's go ahead and do Michael's plan because I don't really want to link Brotherhood of the Broken. And there we go, it's linked. Now let's say I wanted to check out how that Microsoft Project Planner plan is going. I can click on that link and it will open it up in my browser. There you go. Pretty cool opportunity for a project manager to be able to track progress on a particular task if their team that's working on the task uses Microsoft Planner. All right, are there any questions, Leslie?
I don't have any questions at this point, Michael, but great job. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we concluded?
Sure, yeah. I wanted to make a mention that Microsoft Planner is free with Office 365. So if you have a Microsoft Office 365 license, you don't need to pay anything additional for that functionality. And, let me kind of go over real quick with Microsoft Teams. Let's say you have a Microsoft Teams team. We go in and we're going to look at this team within our Microsoft Teams application. This is Hope After Betrayal admin. Hope After Betrayal is another nonprofit business that we are currently working with. As you can see, I have already created a plan within this team. Let's go to Healing Hope Groups number 2. We click on Add a tab, Microsoft Planner, and then I have the ability to create a plan within Microsoft Teams. As you can see, this is essentially the same view as Microsoft Planner on the web. You have your board view, you have your charts view, and you have your schedule view. The only stipulation with using Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Planner within Teams is that you don't get as much functionality for it. So you won't have the ability to see all of your recent plans. This is only very particular to this team. And if your company doesn't use Microsoft Teams, then it may not be that beneficial for you. Okay, that's it, Leslie. I have nothing else.
All right, great. Well, thank you everyone for attending today's webinar, How to Manage Tasks and Projects in MS Planner. We welcome your questions, suggestions, and feedback. For more information, you can email us at contact@advisicon.com. Once you exit today's webinar, you'll receive a survey on the presentation. You will need to complete and submit the survey to receive your PDUs. From there, you will receive a follow-up email within 2 business days with your PDU information. If you're watching this recording on YouTube or another social media platform, please be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future uploads. On behalf of Advisicon, Michael, and myself, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you participate in future webinars. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.